I realized that many civilians, including myself, just didn't have a real true understanding of these men and women beyond the very limited things we saw in TV and movies. So I wanted to learn more myself. And then I realized along the way that in order for the country to remain strong, we need the civilians to embrace the veterans that are coming back in ways that aren't happening as well as they could happen.
Welcome to the Seven Eagle Group podcast, your home for inspiring stories, valuable tips, and great advice from hard-charging veterans so you can lead a more rewarding and lucrative post-military career.
All right. Hey, guys, it is Jordy from Seven Eagle. I have an amazing guest today. I feel everyone is going to love hearing this story. So with me is Scott Manthorne, just an incredible guy who just cares deeply for this community. A civilian like me, which is even more impressive to me to find other civilians who just want to help and add value. And Scott has been spending the recent time in writing a book called The Military Effect, which tells the story of 50 different veterans from 5 different branches. Just really inspiring stuff on their journey. And we're going to talk about some of that today. So this is Scott Manthorne. Scott, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat today.
Excited to put it out there, Jordy. Let's change the narrative a little bit.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Why in the world did you decide I'm going to write a book for telling the stories of military veterans?
I think that there's a few reasons. I think one, I realized that many civilians, including myself, just didn't have a real true understanding of these men and women beyond the very limited things we saw in TV and movies. So I wanted to learn more myself. And then I realized along the way that in order for the country to remain strong, we need the civilians to embrace the veterans that are coming back in ways that aren't happening as well as they could happen. So that's been a big part of the writing process, and becoming an advocate in the space is a blessing that I really can't measure.
Yeah. So talk about the journey. How did you begin to set out on this? Did you just start picking up the phone and calling veterans? What was the research behind the book?
Well, my first book, The Network Effect, was probably a good setup for this. So that book's on Amazon also. And I engaged my global network to start to meet men and women that were either active duty or veterans. And that network delivered very quickly. And once I got into the sector and started meeting some active duty service or veterans, they were extremely open in sharing more individuals from their vertical. So once you get in, you're going to go wide and deep at whatever speed you choose.
Yeah. How did you choose which folks to interview or which folks to feature?
I had a simple equation. Number one, I wanted to make it as even as possible between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a father of a single child, a daughter, so I wanted this book to be representative for females, empowering the women.
Good.
And then it was really just a breakdown between the 5 branches to try and make it as even as I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, Army has a little bit more representation than the others. The numbers are just so big. But when you look at the book, you're going to see a good assortment between the 5 branches of men and women of varying levels of service record.
Yeah. Could you share one or two of some of the stories that stand out in your mind as ones that really had an impact on you and you think will resonate well with readers?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just met Travis Mills, who's up here in the state of Maine. Travis is one of 5 surviving quadruple amputees in the country. Travis has no body left, but his soul is strong. And this man has built an amazing foundation to support so many men and women who are hurting, and travels the country and does about 150 speaking gigs a year. He is amazing. And that's one of the stories. Another woman who's in the book, and these are people that I've met, my authors, I haven't met them all. One of my authors and her husband both served, and they were the first activated force in the United States after the Civil War that went to the Pentagon for the hazmat cleanup. And
Wow.
the two of them met prior to that, but served together and still live together, and are now in, I think, their 24th year of marriage. So many interesting stories inside of the book, but that's two real quick ones.
Are there any themes that sort of stand out for you, like that constant throughout? A lot of the stories have a lot of similarities.
I think by the nature of who I chose, um, everyone has a pretty good personality that faces in an outward direction, right? I think it's tough for any introvert to come out into a new business community, wherever, and try to succeed. So every one of the individuals, I believe, is personable and has that pressing attitude to move forward. I can't sit here and talk about the obvious, which is gratitude and giving and teamwork and all the thing that every man and woman who goes through service embraces and is when they come out.
What's some of the feedback that you're getting from readers? Like, what resonates with them? What do people really enjoy about the book?
I think that most are appreciating the direct story from the veteran to the reader. While I wrote the story was created by me and each of the 50 individuals in there. So it's their voice, it's my pen, right? Or it's their story and it's Robertson Dean's voice that's telling the story. But it was really a culmination that really allows not only the active duty service and veteran to really understand this, but also for that civilian to go, okay, I'm getting this, I'm following this progression. And yeah, you are just like me. You were a green collar one day, and now you're a civilian like I am.
Yeah, I love that it appeals to both sides as well. So, I am just super excited for this book, and we're going to do some collaboration as well, where we'll be able to provide some excerpts on our site over the week and over the year, and give people a little taste of what's inside this amazing book. It's available on Amazon. The name of the book again is The Military Effect. He's also got it on Audible, which I love. You could listen on the go to the book. And you tell everyone about the
Yeah, so you can go, by the way, to www.themilitaryeffect.com. That's our homepage. Shows all of our 50 men and women and hyperlinks to almost everyone in the book. Robertson Dean recorded the book. Robertson Dean is a well-known voice in Hollywood who did Last of the Mohegans, Grapes of Wrath, and a number of other fairly well-known books within the military sector and outside of that. So got really lucky with Robertson. He came to us through an active duty Air Force who owns a publishing company called Flying Wings. So that's how we found and were able to utilize Robertson for this. He's routinely turning down book opportunities. And I think within an hour of knowing what this project was, he accepted it. And we
That's
were
awesome.
very fast.
That's awesome. And so what's next for you? What's on the horizon?
I think that in order for this vertical of men and women to continue to have opportunity, we need to continue to open pathways for them to have conversation. So my background is networking. I'm going to bring communities together of civilian and veteran or active duty for more collaboration and connecting. There seems to be too much of a slant right now between the two sides. A lot of your events for veterans active duty are really heavily populated by that group and a very small number of civilians. We need to get this into a 50-50 rate.
I'm with you.
So I've got almost 30 of experience in running tactical networking models, and I'm going to build one. The name I'm going to hold back for now, but it'll be a one-to-one network model between civilian and veteran or civilian and active duty with a heavy focus on entrepreneurship.
I love it. Well, please keep us in the loop on that so we can help promote that initiative as well. But anyone listening, please do yourself a favor, get out there and purchase and go read The Military Effect. It's on Amazon, on his website, themilitaryeffect.com, and also on Audible. It's highly recommended. good summer read. So, Scott, thank you so much for taking some time today to share your story of the book, and we truly appreciate what you're doing for this community by publicizing these amazing men and women. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.